Yo, Philly 254 living life. Back at it. So, Stadia has a few issues, a few situations they need to kind of clear up, clarify some things for us. Are they dead? No, I don't think they did, but they got some things they need to work on. And what are those things? We'll talk about it here in a few moments. But first, real quick, please do me a favor. Like, subscribe, do your due diligence, cruise the playlist. You know how it is. It really helps out the channel. Click that notification bell. Now let's get straight to the story. So the thing is, Stadia has a situation where people are starting to notice some things. It's things that people have been noticing, but I think some of the more diehard Stadia supporters are starting to kind of come to grips with. Is situation is with the gaming, and it's things I've even mentioned about Stadia. Let's not even think about the situation with the lack of games. Well, should I say the lack of AAA games? Because they're getting games. They're getting games. They're doing their thing. But with the games that are here, we're starting to have issues where games are not being updated along with the games on other platforms. Games are not seeing certain features that the same games on other platforms are receiving. For example, and I'll bring it up real quick. All you can eat. The all you can eat games. So the Stadia version has no crossplay. All the other versions have crossplay. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know that the Stadia version did not have crossplay until I went back, or I think it was a few weeks ago. I was gonna play it with a couple of friends of mine or whatnot, and I was like, "Oh, no worry, I got it on Stadia. I don't have to buy it on Steam. No big deal. I got it on Stadia already. I claimed it a long time ago. Stadia Pro game. I got this. Give me a minute." Jumped on the game, and I couldn't find them. They couldn't find me. He started trying to explain the menus that looks on his versus mine. I'm like, my menus don't even look like your menus. What are you talking about? I had to Google it and find out Stadia's game doesn't support crossplay. And from what I could tell, it's not even in the same version of the game. I don't know. It's like the menus a little different or something. And it's situations like that where we got to do a little better, Stadia. We got to do a little better. Certain other games where, I think Ark Survival is one where people were mentioning how they can't. One, I'm not even gonna talk about the performance, but you know what? We will. The performance is kind of iffy. I'll throw it out there. The performance is a little bit iffy, but even looking past the performance of the game, there are situations where if the game itself, if Ark Survival itself has a major update to the game, it's like the Stadia version is always a little bit behind before it receives the update. All the other versions are updated. Stadia version is still chilling on whatever version it currently was. And it usually takes a few days or maybe a week or so for it to finally get the proper update. And until that version, the Stadia's version, matches the main version of the game, the full version, or not the full version, but the version that it's currently updated to, until Stadia matches that version, you have zero access to the Ark servers. And if you have zero access to the Ark servers, what's the point of playing Ark? Because that's the whole thing. You play on these dedicated servers with all these other, players, survivals, whether you're playing PvE or PvP, but you can't access any of it because your particular version is not up to date, right? And if you have a whole little hut built or whatever, you got some tame dinosaurs, time keeps ticking. Those dinosaurs are gonna starve, So it's things like that, and eventually, Stadia gets on board and it gets updated or whatnot. But it's like, why? What's the holdup? What's the holdup, homie? Let's get this thing rolling. And it's not all art. It's not all bad, should I say? Some games gotta implement it perfectly. Let's talk about Destiny 2. I've been playing Destiny. I've been getting back into Destiny 2 lately, and I play it on Stadia. It works perfectly fine. Amazingly great. Play it all the time. Everything gets updated along when it's supposed to be updated. So I'm not like locked out of the game, anything weird like Ark or whatever. So I'm playing all the time. I have no issues whatsoever. I play with a couple of my buddies. I got a buddy who plays on Steam. We play every now and then. It's whatever, Same thing with what is that one game called? It's very similar to Ark. Not Ark, but very similar to Destiny. I'll throw it up on the screen because I can't remember what it's called. But similar concept to Destiny, where you're playing online. It's a shooter game, and and it's a similar concept. It's updated. I play online. I have no issues whatsoever. You know, it's games like that. Even Cyberpunk. When Cyberpunk got its big update, Stadia got its big update along with everything else. You know, it stayed up to date and everything. But other games, it's a problem. They have no crossplay. You know, the multiplayer games, they have no crossplay. There are some games that definitely, you know, I don't know if they have crossplay enabled on other systems, but if they don't, then that's a problem. But there are some games where crossplay is supposed to be implemented, or it does have crossplay in other systems and whatnot, and Stadia doesn't have it for some reason. You know, all you can eat being one, like I mentioned earlier. Another one, this damn zombie game. I was playing that earlier, and it had zero crossplay whatsoever. It was supposed to. Well, crossplay is promised. Let's put it that way, but it's not. It's definitely not there. And if it's not there, if you try to play it right now, you're not getting any gameplay. I can tell you right now, because the game itself is all based around playing with other people, and you get zero gameplay. I went there. I've gone now. When it first came out on Stadia, I claimed it as a free Stadia Pro game, and it was fun. It was definitely fun. I played a few times and played online, and it was definitely fun. No issues whatsoever, really. But without any crossplay, if people aren't playing it, the few people on Stadia who are playing it, if they're not playing it, then you're not going to get any games. And if you're not getting any games, again, what's the point? Outriders, it plays pretty well. No issues with Outriders. Because I think it has crossplay. I'm not sure. I have to double check it, but I've never had any issues with it whatsoever as far as that's concerned. But it's the thing about not being properly up to date. The game I was thinking about was a World War Z Aftermath, by the way. I kept calling it a zombie game. I couldn't remember what it was called. But even the My Hero Academia 2, try to play that online. It's gonna be real boring. Single player, oh yeah, all day, whatever. Online, nah. But it's not even a cross-play situation. It's situations where games are not being updated. Not getting updated. Well, the counterparts are being updated, just like I mentioned with the all-you-can-eat. Counterparts are being updated. It's like we're not following through with all that. We're done. DLC, they'll come to everybody else, but not the Stadia. And the people here's this thing. I'm not hating on Stadia. I love Stadia. I want Stadia to make it, baby. But you gotta call a spade for spade. People who are just want diehard Stadia, which I respect it. High five, diehard Stadia. But we gotta do better. If you knew better, you do better. We gotta do better. And if we want our system or want our service to really thrive, we gotta go ahead and push them to step up their game. I understand Google's wasn't really super knowledgeable on the gaming aspect of things, but I mean, it's been a few years at this point. You should have picked it up by now. But certain hardcore Stadia representatives, I won't say representatives, but hardcore Stadia gamers will say, well, did you try messaging or emailing the company? We shouldn't have to do that, man. We shouldn't have to email the publisher. That's Stadia's job. That's what they're supposed to do. They need to make sure that these games are updated properly, that the crossplay is enabled if the game itself supports crossplay, that crossplay is enabled and works on Stadia, that the DLCs are coming to Stadia just like they come to all these other services. It's cool that you got the game, but don't just get the game, get everything that comes with the game. If you want to keep your players, you want to keep your player base, it kind of sucks when I'm like, yeah, man, I got all you can eat. A simple game like all you can eat. Yeah, I got all you can eat, but guess what? It ain't crossplay. It's crossplay with everything else, but not crossplay. And and I'm just using all you can eat constantly because that was the last game I tried with crossplay that flat out didn't work, and that's when I was like, what the hell? But it's kind of hard to try to vouch for Stadia and stand up for Stadia when come on, Stadia, do your due diligence. They're not doing their due diligence. They're not making sure that these games that they're bringing in, bravo for bringing them in, but make sure they're up to date. Make sure they're getting the DLCs. If crossplay is a thing with these games, make sure they come enabled on Stadia. Let's get the whole package. Don't half asses. Give us everything. and this sounds like a negative video, but it's more of, we gotta hold Google and Stadia accountable. I want this game, I want this to work too, just like everybody else. But we can't just be blind. Can't be blind to the fact that Stadia has an issue. You got some explaining to do. Come on, man. Do your thing. We support y'all. Help us out a little bit. Make sure the games you do get bring over. Everyone complains about AAA games. Even I've mentioned it, the lack of AAA games. But shoot, the games you do bring over, at least make sure we get the whole deal, the whole package, not half the package. Help us help you, because the more people who support Stadia, the more Stadia grows. People will say, well, the best way to make Stadia grow is just buy the games. Well, why would I buy a half-ass game? Let's put it that way. Well, I can put my money on Steam and buy that same game from Steam and make sure it's gonna be up to date and working properly, if it's meant to work properly. If it's got glitches, But if it's I could buy it from Steam and it's gonna be up to date, get its DLCs and everything else, and its cross plays and whatnot. If I buy it for Xbox, same thing. I should expect that same thing from Stadia. I'm not gonna keep supporting the system if it's not gonna give me the whole package, right? That's all I'm saying. Help us help you, Stadia. Give us the whole package so that way when we say, hey guys, buy yourself get yourself on Stadia, buy your game Stadia, and it actually would be beneficial to that person. They're gonna get the whole game, and it won't be this old little pocket bubble of just Stadia. Right now that ain't working. It's not enough people. Let's just be honest with you. It's not enough people. We need more people. And to get more people, we got to get more games. And not only do we got to get more games, they got to be the entire game. They got to get all the updates. They got to get them on time with all the other systems. That's all I'm saying, man. But anyway, if you like more discussions on cloud gaming, Steam Deck games always on deck, like and subscribe. Do your due diligence. And we out.